preparing to paint.
It looks really good.
Well, we've torn Elixir to bits and we're fixing everything and putting it back together again. At the moment. Now summer is officially gone and it's freezing.
Yeah. I'm in
Some
love
tricks.
with Miss Ward. I think I'm gonna write her a note on Valentine's Day.
Welcome to another update from Elixir's voyage around the world. We are deep in the trenches of this refit, bringing this 55-year-old boat back to life after 16,000 miles and half a circumnavigation. Days in the boatyard quickly transformed into weeks, and it didn't take long for us to abandon our wildly ambitious deadline of sailing to Fiji in May. There was just so much to do, and it all felt very overwhelming. Thankfully, I was in one of the best places I could be to carry out a project like this, in a beautiful country, surrounded by helpful friends, and although it was a lot of work, I definitely felt like we were slowly making progress, and it was incredible to see Elixir coming back together again. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to support the refit. Join the Patreon for even more content like my newsletter, the Elixir Express, and to hear about any opportunities to sail on board Elixir. Alright, so these are the knees that hold the chain plates to the hull. So they connect the deck to the hull. The chain plates are bolted on here. And as you can see, we've got some cracking going on. Actually, we have cracking going on both sides. So I'm just going to grind it back and see how far this cracking goes, and then we'll glass in some new fiberglass here, and hopefully that will be strong enough repair.
Every time I do a shipyard period, I feel like I take years off my life. So much toxic shit everywhere.
Well, should we mix some epoxy then?
Yeah.
As soon as we mix these, obviously they're going to start going off really quickly.
Maybe you should tell Lila what's going on before.
Yeah,
I
but
just feel like it's easier to demonstrate.
as always, really clear instruction from Max.
So he's gonna put that sheet that he cut there,
Yeah.
and then basically paint that over it.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so first of all we start by just wetting the area, which is already clean. And it's an exothermic reaction, so as soon as you mix them together, it's going to start getting really hot, which is kind of why.
It can like set on fire.
What?
Yeah, it can set on fire. Right, can you do the same as what I just did over there, please?
Okay.
No rush, but there is a time limit.
Yeah, I love the... It can set on fire. Can you... And now I take the cloth and put it over it.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Ça va?
Ça va bien. What are we about to do?
So we're gonna paint today. We have to take this off. I've never done it before, so...
Do you want to do the honours?
Yeah.
And we're just going to remove the peel ply, which basically holds it all in place when the resin sets.
Oh, that's easier than I thought.
Alright, what do we think about that repair? So we've got a lot of cloth in here, and then we've used a bit of thicker epoxy to kind of fill this in.
What have we been up to for the last 12 hours?
We've been prepping to paint. We've been sanding pretty much all day and just getting everything ready, which always takes a bit longer than you expect. We've been taping.
So you're going to roll, right? And the key is to get an even amount of paint on each time, and you got to be like systematic with it. So you do like one square, and then I go behind with the brush and flatten it out, then you do another square, then I go behind and flatten it out.
So we finally finished sanding everything. That took us a week. We have dust all over our things, and I couldn't be happier to be going on the next task. So now we gotta paint and varnish. So yeah, we're doing those doors. They're gonna be white. Voila.
Oh, I am not a painter.
I think you're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Just leave onto the boat. Hi, my name's Jack and I'm an alcoholic.
And everybody go, hi Jack!
I'm not an alcoholic, by the way, if you're filming this, Max. I indulge sometimes, on the odd occasion.
He's always filming when you say something embarrassing. And if you say something embarrassing and he's not filming, he will just go, oh, what did you just say?
You just say it again.
Once you get the first layer of primer on, it begins a long cycle of painting, filling, sanding, and then painting all over again. You repeat this until you reach a finish that you're happy with and one you're confident is going to last. I forgot how time-consuming all of this prep work was, but it felt so good to finally paint over the stained plywood bulkheads. The extra white did wonders for both enhancing the teak trim and making the entire interior feel brighter and cleaner.
That piece of wood was really rotten, it was falling apart. So we cut it. I made a new one with like the same shape, put it back in place, put epoxy on it to like make it solid. And now, yeah, I've sanded and I'm gonna paint it so it like blends in with the rest of it.
Looking pretty good. The plan for tonight is to put on the final coat, the final top coat on the interior. As you can see now, Elixir's interior is looking pretty good. These 55-year-old bulkheads, which were just stained and kind of nasty looking, are now all white. Everything's gonna be white, apart from this teak trim, which we're gonna varnish. So yeah, she's gonna look totally different. She's gonna look way better. I think the white is just such an improvement. Tonight I'm gonna do the final coat, the final top coat. So it's quite exciting. Okay, so the technique we're going to be using is rolling and tipping. Basically use the roller and the brush, and you want to use the roller first to get like an even coverage of paint, and then you just knock it off with the brush to get like the orange peely effect off. So we already have 2 coats of primer and 1 top coat on here, and yeah, hopefully this is going to be the final coat. This is a water-based paint, which is actually really nice to work with, like gives you a bit more time to work with it before it goes off, and it's really easy to clean up, and you can just thin it with water. Apparently it was the best paint, I got told, so we'll see how it looks and how long it lasts. And 2 coats in, it is looking amazing, and yeah, I can't wait to see what the finish is like. We're at our workshop space today and we're going to varnish Elixir's interior, and we have some New Zealand made polyurethane varnish. Yeah, so we have like the table, all of the floorboards, just like the whole interior really. The varnish was completely gone from everything. We're going to go 1 part varnish to 1 part white spirit. Oh yes.
Oh yes, baby.
That's gonna look nice.
This is a nice, exciting job
Yeah.
that we get to do.
It's like a treat job.
It's a treat.
Well, that smell takes me back a bit as well. Having a wooden boat.
Imagine Elixir's white interior with all this fresh varnish.
I decided to paint over the plywood bulkheads because I felt like they couldn't be saved. The teak floorboards and trim, on the other hand, would look great with a fresh coat of varnish. So after stripping off whatever finish was left and sanding them back again, we decided to start from scratch. Varnishing is a bit of an art and I'm far from being an expert. It's always been one of those jobs I would like to have done, but have never gotten around to, as there are always more pressing things in the way. It's also very time consuming, requiring a lot of coats and sanding between each one. Fortunately, I had a small team to help me out, and one of them was in fact a varnishing professional.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a lesson in varnishing.
Can I go to the bathroom?
She's naughty. She's graffitiing on the table already.
What have you written?
Miss Ward loves Lane.
Sorry. That was the turbulent one. Back at school.
Okay, we're going to start by sanding everything down, keying it up a bit, killing the shine. Yeah, and then we're going to wipe everything down.
Okay.
And then we'll have another lesson in proper varnishing.
All right.
Today we are doing the 4th coat of varnish. Today we're going to be doing 90% varnish, 20% thinner. Right. Guesstimate that into a little cup. Wow. So your first coat is like 50%, 50%, so that it soaks into the wood, and then every layer after that, you're doing less and less thinner until you work your way up.
Alright.
Should we start over here?
So tomorrow it's gonna be 90% varnish, 30% thinner.
We're trying to get an even layer of varnish across the whole piece. But you don't want there to be any like brush marks or strokes, and ideally there's like no bubbles as well. It's good when you have lots of light because you want to be able to check it from like different angles.
Wow.
Right. But I guess
I'm in
some
love
tricks.
with Miss Ward. I think I'm gonna write her a note on Valentine's Day and leave her on the professor's office. Don't tell her it's from me.
Some tricks. Tell the wood you love it. Give it a little kiss.
After you varnish
I'm
it.
jealous now.
Anytime, or we're not to that level yet? Is that after the 3rd day?
First.
The list of jobs I needed to finish on the engine was extensive. As well as a complete service, there was a lot that needed replacing. We started off by removing the glow plugs and creating a list of parts I needed to buy before the engine could go back in again. Scott is a boat builder turned engineer, and he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to pretty much everything I was doing. And honestly, I'm not sure what we would have done if we didn't have his workshop to carry out all of this. These are basically like little electrical heaters that heat up the cylinder so the engine starts when it's cold. Yeah, apparently this one needs replacing. They probably all do, to be honest. I'm going to test this glow plug.
Slow.
Yeah. Taking the oil out of the engine. This is the easy way of doing it with a forklift truck. The biggest issue with the engine was the gearbox. There was a worrying amount of play in the input shaft, which I suspected was a result of the alignment issue, a consequence of my failing engine mounts. Before taking the gearbox apart, I hoped that all we'd have to do was replace the bearings and put it all back together again. Volvo Penta parts are notoriously expensive, and they are also difficult to find here in New Zealand. I hoped that any unexpected purchases would be kept to a minimum. But obviously this was a boat refit, and I knew in the back of my mind that that was wishful thinking. The damage had also extended to the gears, and it quickly became obvious that the shaft would need to be replaced too. It was like we had literally opened up a can of worms, and by this point the thought of sailing Elixir again felt like a vague, obscure dream.
We're trying to get a little bit more organized. We are listing all the jobs we still have to do and organizing who out of Max, Rachel, me and Hannah can do them. So we have like a pretty good view of, you know, what needs to be done. Hopefully it will help. Voila.
We split our time between the boatyard, working on fitting out Elixir, and Scott's workshop. Although we were working flat out, sometimes the progress felt painfully slow, and at times it seemed like the jobs list was growing.
Oh.
Yay! I painted all a coat of paint on all these bits. I don't even know what they are at this point.
Doors and bits of wood.
Doors and whatever. It's pretty early, it's like 4 now, but Hannah is coming today, so we're going back. And yeah, we're gonna have dinner all together. Welcome, Hannah. Voila. You're happy with the free labor I provide, Captain?
I'm over the moon.
Wow.
It's the best free labor I've ever had.
Oh, thank you.
What's happening today?
We're taking all the tape off. Finally. So yeah, today's a good day. Today's a good day to be Max's friend.
Why do you look so familiar?
I think I've been on this boat a couple times before, but never in a boatyard, so this is nice.
What do you think of Elixir's glow up?
No, it's nice. It's cool. I went into my old cabin and I found some money that I left in there from Curacao. There it is, Curacao. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm really excited to see, how the boat looks when she's all put back together and then floating in PG. Now you guys have done amazing. Seriously, I was blown away walking in here. I'm like kind of so stoked to see the boat again, and then seeing it like this, it's unreal. But it's gonna be so good. It's awesome. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to peel the tape off?
It's really good. We've gone from taking everything out and scrubbing the bilges with a toothbrush to now finally seeing some differences, which is really nice. It's very rewarding.
Because Elixir's so old, a lot of these floorboards are just rotted out. These, like, I guess they're called soul bearers because they hold up the soul boards, which are the floorboards. So we have this New Zealand grown hardwood, which we're just replacing them all with. It is grown by our friend's uncle on his farm, which is quite nice. So this one, and then a lot of the wood around the engine box is all going to be replaced.
This morning we are lifting Echo out of the water. We've got a few projects to do, some bottom painting and maybe install a depth sounder. Yeah, it's feeling pretty cold and rainy outside, but I think it'll be alright. Yeah, it's pretty sad for Elixir though, because she's no longer going to be the cutest boat in the boatyard.
With the interior painting finally finished, we spent some time varnishing the interior trim, and all of a sudden it felt like we had taken a big step forward. Elixir's glow up was well underway, and I couldn't wait to see it all come together. Another late night in the boatyard. There's Elixir. Echo is just right next door at the moment, which is cool. It's kind of just been back-to-back long days trying to get everything together. Taking way more time and way more money than what I expected it would, but I think that's just always the case with boats. We're making progress, it's looking good. It's nice to have lots of helpers. It is a lot. It's just gonna look so good once it's done though. Fitting the boat out again is one of my favourite parts of a refit, as it's so satisfying to see everything coming back together. Elixir looked so bright and shiny, and she was starting to feel like a livable space all over again. We're gonna put the beds, these side beds, back in. So we took them out so we could paint everything, and this is gonna be quite scary because it's a very tight fit.
Yeah, we don't want to.
And we don't want to mess up the brand new paint job, do we?
And it was really, really hard to get them out. So I think it might be hard to get them back in.
We're fitting this little trim, I think they're called a fiddle, along the edge of the chart table. This was just an extra piece of New Zealand hardwood. This was something which I've always been missing because stuff just slides off the table when you're at sea. A small drill bit for the pilot hole. And then this thing, which is called a Forstner bit. I never really know. But basically it just makes a nice hole so you can put a plug in it afterwards. And then normally just break them out with a screwdriver. Ta-da! Ta-da!
Again, because it seems like every time I get ahead, I am.
This is basically when you want to be sailing to Fiji. Like this time of year, boats are leaving, looking for a weather window to sail up to the South Pacific Islands, and as you can see, we're not ready. We're not anywhere near ready yet. The engine is still gone, the mast is out, refitting everything, waiting on batteries, a water pump. Honestly, there's been a lot of setbacks recently. Yeah, it's been tough, working long days to try and get everything back together again, but we're making progress. And yeah, it feels great to be putting stuff back in the boat again. She's looking good, she's gonna look amazing.
Thanks for watching another update from Elixir's voyage around the world. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Patreon to get exclusive access to extra content like my newsletter, The Elixir Express, and to be the first to hear about any opportunities to sail on board Elixir. It costs less than a coffee each month, and it's a massive help in both maintaining Elixir and producing these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.